America's beautiful children. We love you. And so I have with me a special guest, and it is Dr. Decoy Porter. Hello.
Well, hey, hello to you, Christina, and to everyone out there, the National Parents Union. Be
And if
here.
you could tell the watchers who you are and what you do, that would be great.
Well, first of all, I am the husband of Carlette Porter, my wife for a little over, goodness, 27 years, and father of two boys, one girl, and the senior pastor of the Genesis Church in South Sacramento, California. I've been doing that since 1999, and also the president and chair of the California State National Action Network, founded by the Reverend Al Sharpton, and I'm also the president of the Sacramento chapter as well.
Nice. That is amazing. I've had the wonderful opportunity to meet you in Sacramento several times,
Yeah,
fighting for Black students.
yeah.
And
We've been
so,
marching in the Capitol.
right, and that's something that I tell parents all the time. Like, it doesn't require an expert or anything. Just show up, and speak up and advocate for your rights. And so, as you can see, that's something that we have to do. I wish it didn't require that, but if it's necessary, it's going to be done, right?
Oh yeah, most definitely. And that's what we've been. That's what we believe in. Supporting education for our Black children, quality education for our Black children, all children, right? We want that to have that, but especially for those who are struggling that achievement gap wise.
Right, right. And I call it the access and opportunity gap for our children. And we definitely don't want them to graduate from that gap into the racial wealth gap. And so we have to be on it from day one, making sure that our children have quality education, and just advocating for our rights as parents and their rights as to get to learn, right? And so what has been, going on in the community, and with the church since COVID-19?
Well, wow. Well, we've been doing like most of other smart churches, I would say that, and we've been trying to follow the law, shelter in place. In that, we went streaming online um, through our, our Facebook pages and social media pages, YouTube channels, and actually have been doing very, very well. Our church congregation has supported our streaming efforts very well and responded very good. We're reaching out to even to new people across the nation, and so we're excited about that. We are not one of those who are trying to get back into service quickly. We're not trying to rush back
Right,
into service because we are primarily concerned about the safety of our congregation and our community. We don't. This COVID thing is still a mystery,
right,
to us, and it's affecting African Americans disproportionately. So we cannot, in full confidence, rush back into service. Um, so we're about I think still a month out or so before we end up going back into that. But outside of that, we are still being active in ministry, along with the National Action Network. We've been feeding um, families and providing free groceries weekly. Um, since that time, actually every Sunday, even before COVID, pre-COVID, we've been providing free groceries. We are a distribution center with the Sacramento Food Bank,
nice.
every week, twice a week, and so our numbers have gone up. We were doing about 100 families per week. Now we're at 300 families per week
Wow.
providing free groceries and such. And then also we're looking to become a testing site as well for our community. So we're being hands-on, we're still being active, and both physically and spiritually.
Amen to that, and I'm sure that the numbers will probably continue to rise as we approach summer,
Hmm.
with food distributions and the need. for food. And so I'm sure that you guys are preparing for that, and, just getting that ready. And I'm so appreciative that you offer that service back to the community because, you always have people that are looking to get some food and some spiritual advice. Just that counseling and that comfort and that prayer, really helps people make it during tough times like this. So thank you for that. And so, with regards to National Action Network, being pretty much utilizing just online, how is that going?
Well, we've been really working behind the scenes um, in many ways, just trying to make sure that we get testing and treatment and access to a lot of fundings for our Black businesses. Um, that's coming through the federal government and all these stimulation packages that are coming through to our local businesses and local governments. And we're saying, hey, just don't put downtown or midtown. Don't skip over us Black folk, hairstylists, barbers, and things like that. As the PPP did, and many of us, 90% of Black businesses did not get those funds at all. So we've been doing a lot of efforts, building coalitions, talking to our city councils, mayor, governor. I mean, I've been on the phones with them all, the county board, Sacramento County Board, just making sure that we are definitely at the table in the decision making and trying to get these resources to our people. And so it's not will I say in your face work, but it's really, really important work because it's in these back rooms and you know these closed meetings that where the deals and real decisions get done.
And how important for those that are watching, can you tell people how important it is for our voices to be included in these decision making processes?
Well, so important. My mentor and the founder again of National Network, Reverend Al Sharpton, just a short time being with him, he has taught me one pertinent lessons, many lessons, but one primary lesson is that if you are not at the table, you are on the menu, right?
Mm,
And here's the thing I'm realizing that we're always on the menu, but we're never at the table. And even at the table, we got to make sure that we're speaking up and saying, hey, this is not right. We got to be here. We have to advocate for ourselves. It's so important in all the areas um, that we basically are lagging in as a people. African Americans, we're always the top percentage of everything that's going kind of bad: healthcare, education, the economy, employment, all those things. Many of those, the reason why is because we're not at the decision making table, not inputting, and people are thinking, you know, this is what they need, this is what they can handle, and what have you. So we definitely need to be there, and so we get what we got because we're not nobody's there, and so we're trying to bring in people to become advocates, to speak up, to run for boards, for educational boards and the county boards and Senate Assembly, all those things. We need to have our voice because Black lives matter, Black voices matter,
yes.
you know. And so that's not going to change until we speak up.
And so, what would be, uh, some advice that you could give for people to start joining in those conversations, those necessary conversations where decision making is taking place, and what could be just a step that they could do now, right, to make sure that their voices are heard in their communities, regarding all types of things, whether it's healthcare, whether it's education, whatever that may be. What could be something that they could do now to make sure that their voices are inserted into that?
Well, we have to, this is where we have to take a little page out the playbook of our white counterparts. They be involved, right? They get involved. I know it's a little easier for them to do that, but we have to take the step to be involved at the PTA meetings, at the National Parents Union, because after you protest, then what?
Right.
We have to attend these um, in Sacramento. We are the capital of California, so all of the laws and policies and everything that's lawful economy, we control it all. We control California, which is the fourth largest economy in the world, not just
Right.
in the nation, but in the world, right? And so with that, there's a plenty of opportunity to be involved, and it's really just a matter of showing up. If you just show up, you could really make a difference. And you may be the only one in the room, that of our hue and melanin, but if we show up, we'll definitely make a difference.
Exactly. And you have to be, I would say like 90% is of a lot is just showing up. The other
Hmm.
10% is what you do when you get there, right? And
Right.
so, I even use this example with parenting. Sometimes we could be sitting there and telling our kids all these things and seeing like, are they hearing us? Are they ignoring me? And as soon as you get up, they know, okay, wait, you got my attention now, right? And so definitely show up, um, and be involved in things that require our voices, wherever you're at, whatever level that may be, whatever type of conversation you need to say, I want to be a part of this because I need to make sure that my community is represented,
Hmm.
and not just skimmed over or ignored. And I don't want other people making those pertinent decisions about us without our input.
Oh
And
yeah.
so I definitely agree with that. You have upcoming a school that is going to start, right? So talk about that.
Oh yeah, that little thing, that little
That's
project that we're
exciting.
doing. Um, actually, yeah, we're so excited. What's happening on our campus right now is we have gone to a huge partnership with Fortune School Systems, with whose president and CEO is our good friend Margaret Fortune, and who has, I believe, 9 schools already within Sacramento and San Bernardino charter school system, whose focus and mission is to close the African American achievement gap. And so, Margaret and myself, we've been good friends for a while. We're there when she first started with her school, and we've been playing with the idea, starting with that, of placing a school on our campus. And after I think 3 or 4 tries, we finally did
Woo.
it, and we broke ground. Yeah, about not too long ago. Yeah, last year or so, in the middle of last year, we broke ground, and she and we are building a new kindergarten through 5th grade elementary school, brand new. It's her first ground up building, 25,000 square feet, 400 student capacity. And she named it after myself, Takoi Porter. So it's the Takoi Porter College Prep School. So I'm just excited. It's surreal, and it's wonderful. It's the bomb. It's going to be open this fall 2020. And we
Yeah.
are just excited about it.
And I'm sure that the community is very excited about that. That what an honor. Dr. Fortune, is always looking for those honorable people like yourself that are still living, and has
Hmm.
done that. And I so respect that she does that, so that our children have something to look up to, someone to aspire to be. That's not dead, right? That's still alive. And that's very
Praise the
important.
Lord. We still alive. We still here.
Yes.
We still kicking. It was so funny. So I got to tell you the story, when she was talking about it, and I pitched the idea to us, and my wife and I was like, oh, maybe we can name it after this person, or that person. And so we came with a list of names and all that. And we met Margaret, and she was like, well, before you pitch the names, let me give you my name. And she said to Koi Podcast Prep. She had a logo all set and things like that. And my wife and I looked at her. We was like, all right, hey,
Right.
work it out. So I say that because it wasn't my idea, but I'm sure going to run with it. Hey, this is a great honor, and it's really surreal. We're excited to extend our ministry in this manner, and Fortune School and Margaret is the perfect partner in this. I wouldn't want to do this with anybody else.
Yeah, and that's amazing because definitely um, her whole framework and model is pertaining to making sure that Black children have the quality education that they need, right? And so
Right.
that's going to be amazing. And those little TK kids are going to be so cute. In kindergarten, you get to see the smiling faces, right?
I
And so,
I know. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. And so we're in heavy recruitment right now for it. We're starting with grades kindergarten through second grade. We have about 140 slots to fill. And so anybody that's watching right now, you can contact us at Fortune School. You just type it in. I'll have to send the information to you to put that out there. But you look at the Genesis Church website at www.secgenesis.org, secgenesis.org. You can get that information there. And I'm sure you can get it on the Fortune School website at fortuneschool.us, I believe is their website address.
so I have to ask you, what has been your biggest challenge um, with regarding, having a church and being in the community? What has been your biggest challenge that you face? If there's something that you could just identify as one biggest challenge.
Wow. Well, goodness. Well, I've been in ministry I've been a pastor of the church for over 20 years in Meadowview area, which is in South Sacramento. So, I guess the South Side is always the challenging side of town, but we're in the urban area, but, it's nothing like Chicago or anything like that, but we do have our challenges that way. Um, so we face the normal issues of that Black communities go through, and as the Black community goes, the Black church goes, and then I say Black proudly, because we are a Black church that serves a Black community, Black and Brown community. And I always say that the issue of just being relevant, just trying to see to the needs of our community with limited resources.
Right.
While I was growing up, I'm a third generation pastor. This is what we do.
Mm.
You see a porter, usually that's got some type of ministry connection to it. So I believe I was probably born in the back pew of a church somewhere. you know, my dad was a pastor, his daddy. Then my mother's side got pastors and ministers as well, you know, involved in leadership. So we've always been in that leadership role spiritually and in the community as well. And so, many times you find that the secular community doesn't want spiritual input, you
Right.
know, in there. So we can't be involved in education, we can't be involved in business or finance or economy until they want you. Don't be involved. Don't run for an office. Don't be involved in politics until we are running and we want to come to your church and talk to your people and try to get votes and all that. And so I believe that right now, even pre-COVID, we find ourselves trying getting back to what I call my father, who pastored in the 70s, 80s, or the 90s. You know, that type of MLK, civil rights activism, and just being involved without apology in regards to doing that, getting involved in that way. So it's not just about me, my four walls of my church. It's not about prosperity gospel or anything, but it's really missionary, going out and seeing to the needs of your people, becoming activists, psychologists. I mean, and doing whatever we can to lift up our folks, because that's what Jesus did, right? He saw to the needs of his people.
Definitely, definitely. And he was uh, walking around doing just that, right? Um, and so, you know, coming up, what do you think is going to be um, some things that you're going to be faced with, you know, when the state reopens?
Yeah, so I know our connection was kind of being a little spotty
Hello?
here.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you
Sorry
now.
about that. Hear me?
Hmm.
Okay. My camera cut out, and I'm sorry about that. Can you hear me and see now?
No, I can hear you. I can hear you. So if you could repeat your question real quick, I didn't get all of that.
I was saying, you know, once the state reopens, um, what do you see happening with regards to any challenges that you may be facing? Because we're
Yeah.
definitely, hold on, my camera's messing up. Sorry. Okay, how about now? Can you hear?
Oh yeah, you came back. But I think what you were asking about was, oh, there you are. What you were asking about is, how's it that we're going to come back, and what's the difference going to be when we do come back from this
Yes.
COVID situation? And that's the question that a lot of my pastor friends and community leaders are asking each other, and the consensus is, and I really believe that, is that it's not going to be the same. That's the one thing. It's not going to be the same. This COVID situation is going to be with us for a while, and it's going to change the way we do ministry. And I believe that um, leadership has to be even more outward focused, outreach with
Right.
this whole live stream that we're doing. We need to invest in that. I'm heavily investing in our live stream ministry, creating an e-campus for our church, and making sure that that stays up and at a high quality stance, so that those who can't come to church, our seniors and whoever else doesn't feel comfortable coming to a building, or just due to capacity restraints, they can still have church online. Also, we're going to do even more outreach, as you said before, Christina. We're going to have to be involved in the feeding of our community, the clothing, and then we're going to have to get comfortable with Jesus and therapy, because we're going to have to deal with mental issues and a post some PTSD from this situation. Um, that we have to deal with anyways as Black folks. Um, so we got some work to do.
Right.
So I think I might have lost
So,
you.
is
You
there
glitched.
a suggestion or word of advice you would share before we close? I'm having some technical difficulties. I'm sorry about that. What I was saying was that, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, can you give our viewers a word of advice?
To what? To everything happening now?
Just, um, your final thought or something
Yeah.
that you'd like to share. Sorry about my technical difficulties, everyone. Hoping to get that fixed.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I just want to thank you, Christina, and the National Parents Union for this invitation to be with you all. It's great to have this conversation, this outlet. My advice that I give to everyone is what I give to my own family, to my church family, my sons, especially my sons and daughters, that you control what you can control and leave the rest up to God. You know, there's there's things that are so much out of our control right now. COVID is out of our control. It's got to run its course. You know, the mortality rate that's happening and what's going on with losing people, and you know, there's a lot of stuff is just out of our control. What's going on in with the police and Minneapolis, and how people have used racism and gone rampant in the White House. You know, some of that stuff is out of our control, but we should control what we can control and focus on doing that. You know, so we control how we love, we control how we live, we control how we protect, and we control what we can be involved in. You know, and to me, it's always family, it's always God, um, and it's always just, and others, looking after others. And I think at this time, being selfless, well, is our best therapy, is our best therapy, being selfless and looking how can we benefit our brothers and our sisters, being our brothers and sisters keepers at this time is some of the best therapy that we can receive for ourselves.
So thank you for coming. I apologize for the technical difficulties that have taken place, but
It's the
I
heat. It's the
sure
heat down there.
appreciate you. And so we'll end on that good thought and that good word right there. I hope, right? What it is. So I appreciate you. I will give that information on how the school can be located. Definitely have a conversation with you, in the future. Thank you so much. I
Thank
appreciate it.
you.
You all have been watching. I will see you again tomorrow.